The first story I wanted to start with, though, today with you, Hassam, is according
Mhm.
to Jacob Steinbeck, Manchester United will attempt to have a smooth negotiation with Tottenham. I laughed when I read that, to be fair, by bidding as quickly as possible for Harry Kane. In separate reports, there's talk of a £100 million bid being submitted right at the end of the season, stroke the beginning of the new campaign. Do you think this is the best approach for Man United? And do you think they can get this job done early for Harry Kane?
I mean, that's a lot of questions. The one thing that I definitely don't think it's gonna be is smooth. Ain't nothing smooth with Daniel Levy. There is just nothing smooth when dealing with that human being. People think
Barring
that
his head. That's the only thing. It's a little smooth.
that is 100% fair. But other than that, when it comes to footballing stuff, like I don't see it being smooth at all. Like the Spurs, dealing with Spurs is kind of becoming like dealing with Leon and Napoli a little bit. When it comes to, maybe their sales and stuff, they kind of like it's always like a problem. I don't see it being smooth. I see this becoming a saga easily could take 2 months of up off the transfer window, and every day we're like, oh, Harry Kane this, Harry Kane that. And all I have to do is take my mind back to before the transfer window started 2 years ago, and we were all certain that Harry Kane is going to become a City player. And now we're sat here. He still is playing for Tottenham Hotspur 2 years later. There's still a lot of Spurs fans as well who think that Harry Kane might remain at Tottenham Hotspur. So that's another possibility. As to when will it be a good signing, I think it will. Definitely will be a good signing. Massive upgrade on what you currently have. I know
Mm.
Martial FC will be very upset with that, but it's just the truth. Because he can do all what Martial does, and he scores goals, and he stays fit, and he's Premier League proven. So, he kind of he's a complete footballer. He's been having an unbelievable season as well. People have been focusing on Haaland actually all the time, but Harry Kane is low-key having a very good season. I think he's definitely a player that will elevate Manchester United. But here's the thing: you look at his age, and from a realistic perspective, how many good years is he going to give you? I think he might give you 2 good years. Now, this would be a success. When I say 2 good years, I mean like 2 Hurricane level years. Would this be a success? I think we will find out if in that 2 year window they win the league, God forbid, or win the Champions League, God forbid. Then it'll be like like they proper have had success here. But I think this is long overdue, and I don't like when a player like Harry Kane is stuck at Tottenham Hotspur. And now people's gonna come at me and say stuff like, "Oh, Sam, you're a Liverpool fan. Gerrard was stuck at Liverpool," but there's genuinely a difference in which Gerrard won everything but one competition. So like he was at least part of winning teams that kind of won everything there is to win
Mm.
other than that one specific competition. With Harry Kane, you look at him, he's 30 something years old. He's actually never lifted anything his whole life. He's actually like we're talking not even a Carabao Cup, not even an FA Cup, nothing. This is the problem. So, like for me personally, I think you need to get him out of Tottenham. And I'm not even just talking about legacy conversations or any of that, but just for his own career. Because he can't retire and all he sees in his closet is golden boots and stuff like that. Like you need to put
Yeah.
something up there. Put something up there. So, I think it would be successful, not maybe for a long period, like it would have been if you signed him maybe 4 years ago, like it was rumored, some 3 years ago, like that. So, but it definitely is going to be a headache. Get ready for a transfer saga, Terry. You're going to speak on Kane minimum 15 times.
It,
Minimum.
it will definitely be a saga, and I get us wanting to get it done early. The only way I see it being done early is if Levy has already agreed behind the scenes with Kane 100%. As long as we hit a certain amount, it will be done. I don't think they'll play him again like they did last time. A lot of people had to go at Kane in his last window that he behaved wrong. He didn't come back after preseason. That was all. That's Fugazi. He was told. He said goodbye to everybody in his last training session. He was told they were going to let him go if the right amount of money was bid. The right amount of money was bid, but the board at Tottenham moved the goalpost, and Harry Kane was kind of left between a rock and a hard place. So, look, don't do any interviews. Don't go to any golf courses with Gary Neville to kind of sort of throw salt in anybody's eye. But I think we can get this deal done. And I believe it's a deal that Man United want massively. And I also think there was a big debate I saw online yesterday about will Harry Kane be enough to win Man United the Premier League? Alone, of course not. By himself,
Mhm.
never in a million years. But with the summer I believe we can have, if we get new owners, and I always have to precurse it with that, Harry Kane would be a star. The only thing I disagree in terms of what you said about the player, I think we can get at least 3 good years out of him. I believe we can get at least 3 good years. I've seen a lot of people out there who have kind of, so what's the way of wording this? Yeah, but what happens in 3 years' time? I'll tell you what happens in 3 years' time. You go out and you buy the next best available striker in the world. Unless they're playing, in my opinion, for City or Liverpool or Real Madrid or Barca, I don't think there's a club in the world you can't take a number 9 off of. And even when it comes to Barca and Real Madrid, with the money the Premier League has and the money we'll get if we get Qatari owners, we'll just go and buy someone. I'm not even worried about what the next 3 years looks like or the next 5 years looks like. I couldn't give a damn about that. Bring in Harry Kane. I know there's a lot of talk about Neymar and our managers.
I was gonna ask you that actually.
I get that. Like Harry Kane would definitely do us a great job for Man United. You saw what I mean. I wish Lee Gunner was on today because he'd be mudded today. Your manager, I don't know who he's listed. I don't know what Man United fans influencing him, but your manager never calls out any players. Ten Hag literally today called out Martial. Said when he plays and when he's fit and when he's firing, he's good. But because he's always injured, he can't score goals and he can't deliver for us. He must be available. Now that is calling a player out. That's not being nasty. He's not being horrible, but he's speaking the truth. That's why I look at Harry Kane. People say he's got injury problems. He started the last 73 Spurs league games. 73 games on the bounce in the league he's played. He hasn't got injury problems. He had a few bad ankle injuries where he went into stupid tackles. He stopped doing that now. He isn't picking up those injuries. I know a lot of people are talking about Neymar. Neymar technically is a better football player than Harry Kane. But over the course of a season in the Premier League, Harry Kane will deliver more for Man United than Neymar will, simply because Neymar is going to spend 2/3 of the season in the medical room or back in Brazil partying and living his best life. And fair play to him. But Harry Kane for me every day of the week.
So you wouldn't take Neymar?
Only on his injury record, mate. That injury record is mad. He averages 16 starts in the league for 6 years running.
I know. I wouldn't take him either. I'm just glad we're on the same page because I was about to start an argument if you said yes. I don't know why people want him at this stage of his career. My thing is like his mentality is gone as well. He literally did an interview. I think it was like even like 12 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that, where he was talking about MLS already. He ain't ready for this Premier League smoke. I'm gonna be honest with you. But the thing is with Kane, when you say 3 good years, I think he turns 30 this summer. So you have 30, 31, 32. That's fair. But what do you say he remains at Harry Kane level, though? Because the thing is, he's played a lot of football. Like, since he broke through, he's essentially been playing Euros, World Cup, Nations League, England, Spurs. He's been playing, like, all the time. So, like, I hear that, but he might just have a little bit of fatigue, when he's 32, 33. Not necessarily get to Kane level, but he could get you 15 goals easily.
He certainly could. What's really interesting, though, is nobody's telling City to sell KDB, who's older than him. If KDB signed the new deal for another 3 or 4 years now, nobody would bat an eyelid because he's delivering at a top team. I understand, the question with Kane, because it's a lot of money to invest and you're not going to get 10 years out of him. But I think fans are overly obsessed. I saw Arsenal fans this week say, why buy or sign Gundogan? You wouldn't buy him, he's free. Why sign Gundogan, who's only going to give you 3 or 4 top years? And I sit there and just think to myself, if you just go out and buy 21-year-olds who can give you a decade, you're never going to win anything. You need a mixture of players. And I think a player like Harry Kane, with his playmaking ability and his goal-scoring ability, you add his performances this season to this Man United team, I don't think we win the league, but I think we'd remain in the Europa League and would be far closer to Man City. And there'd be a lot more hype about this team. I went back through with KJ the other day, all these games that we've played, where we were the better team, and we listed about 11 of them, but we only won by 1 goal, maybe 2 goals with a late last minute. But we had so many chances in the game. We averaged in those games 29 shots. Now, you throw Harry Kane into that team, we win 2-3, 4-0 in most of those games, and suddenly Man United look a much scarier opponent. That gets into the psyche of your rivals. Scoring goals is key. We only conceded 8 goals at home in the league this year. And our away record was 5th. And we took a hammering 3 times away from home this year. We're not going to mention what games they were. We got a hammering 3 or 4 times. But outside of that, a lot of our games where we lost or drew, it was narrow. But go back to the games, we had umpteen chances to score goals and we couldn't convert them. Harry Kane or a player of his ilk is so key for us. And on the Neymar thing, if Neymar could stay fit, I'd have him tomorrow. I'd have him tomorrow. His output return versus how many games he plays. I know it's in France, but it's immaculate. The problem
It
is
is.
in those. I mean, what Lee Gunner countered his argument with yesterday was, well, buy Harry Kane and Neymar at the same time. And my view is, even with
That's what
Qatari,
I was saying. Why don't you just do both?
maybe if we've got the Qataris, and as long as we address other positions, and I think from a United fan's point of view is this.
Which
Because of
other
Neymar,
positions?
yeah, so we need a new goalie that can play it from the back. We need at least one new centre back. So we're looking at Kim
Hmm.
Min Jae, and we need a midfielder or two. So Sabitzer probably may not be re-signed. We still want our long-term playmaker in the middle, who I still think the target is going to be De Jong this summer. We've got to address those areas. Now, if we sign all those players and we bring in Neymar and Harry Kane, you won't see me complain. The problem
Yeah.
is if we throw all the money in the wages at Neymar, but don't get the centre back and don't get the goalkeeper, as much as we'll score more goals, I still don't think we'll have built the foundation to be able to create as many opportunities as I want us to. So we need to be sensible as fans here and not just go for the bright, shiny toy because it's fashionable and brilliant and amazing on its day. We need to look at the foundation and get it done. You know, there's no point going out and buying the best sofa and three-piece suite in the world for your living room when your house has got no roof on it because it'll get ruined. So we just need to be careful. But I'm not against Neymar. A lot of people are. I don't really get the anger some people have towards him.
It's just the injuries. It's just the injuries.
Mine's based on injuries only. That's kind of
Same.
it. But I think there's still £100 million Harry Kane. Get it done. Bring him in. Improve Man United, and we kind of move on from there.
Would you accept if they say we're gonna sign Harry Kane next summer on a free? And don't pay the 100 now. Just wait a year.
As long as there was somebody else who brought in to score the goals, it wouldn't bother me. So we're looking at Ferguson next summer.
Yeah.
I know a number of teams are. We're looking at Ferguson. I don't mind us delaying that for a year as long as we have enough players to score goals this season. Does that make sense? It's almost
Fair.
you look at like Man City. They've got Haaland, they're buzzing, but they've only got Haaland because, and this is the irony in it, they've only got Haaland because they couldn't land Harry Kane. If they signed Harry Kane the year prior, they would not have signed Haaland this year. They wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, of course they wouldn't have. Of course.
So it's one of those things where a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. You know, you have to strike while the iron is hot. You go, right, we won't do it now. We'll wait till next year. What if Harry Kane, heaven forbid, breaks his leg and is never the same player again? Then you've had a whole year without him, and then you're not going to get him in. I mean, the irony is you're a Liverpool fan. It's what you did with Jude Bellingham. Next time. Now he's getting Real Madrid. You just can't take that risk. You know, for me, you can't take that risk. You have to. If you don't get him, there has to be somebody else out there that you go and buy. Usherman as an example. I mean, I always wanted and liked Ivan Toney, but he ain't playing until January now. Although I would tempt to getting him now at a cheaper rate because he's not available.
Buy him. Get him for 30 million, 40 million, something like that. That would be a bargain. And
he can't train with this is the madness of his band. He can't even train at training ground, so he's gonna have to train privately. But even then, with the level, all you would do is you say to some of your coaches, right? When you finish here, you got to go and do an hour with Ivan Toney in the park. Do you know what I mean? There's a way around it. And
he could still stay fit, like.
Yeah, he should do. Imagine if he comes back in January. Remember Thor in Endgame? Just turns up, belly, overweight. I've not been traded. But that would be the harshest ban if he was banned from all football activities. If he's even caught in a gym, he's done for life. They should do that for a lot.
Imagine he's just out here in a park just shooting at someone and it's like, oh, you're banned.
I saw you exercising. They obviously can't do that because people are allowed to exercise. But yeah, it's a crazy ban. It's a crazy ban in relation to that.